Hey everyone, coming to you from Malta today. It's been a while since I've posted. I've been trying to keep up, but we've had some pretty spotty service, especially through Glacier National Park, so I apologize. Glacier was absolutely incredibly beautiful, breathtaking, magical. Yeah, it's hard to put into words, but if you ever get an opportunity to visit Glacier National Park, I highly recommend it. Pictures just don't do it justice. It's an incredible place. We had a great time. We ended up taking 2 rest days there, and this is the first time we kind of ran into some weather that was other than perfect and sunny. So it rained every day at least for a couple of hours, and it was pretty cold. One night I could even see my breath before going to bed, so at the most it probably was like 40 degrees. But it was a great time. It was really cool. We got to be tourists a little bit too on our rest day, but we took one rest day to kind of dry out and rest our bodies a little bit, and then we took one rest day to kind of be, like I said, be tourists. I took a little hike up to Avalanche Lake. Was really beautiful. I only had flip-flops with me, but surprisingly that was kind of the perfect footwear. Everyone else kind of had soggy socks, and other people not in the bicycle group, soggy socks and shoes, and my feet somehow were dry, maybe a little dirty, but cleaner than most people's hiking shoes, I think. So it was definitely worth the hike and flip-flops. So those are my hiking flip-flops now. But yeah, it was absolutely beautiful. Got some knickknacks for family and things like that, so I sent those home. And now, so we stayed in Apgar. For those of you who know Glacier, we stayed in Apgar the first night. Made it over Logan, which was a really interesting and challenging ride. So we were planning on waking up at leaving at 5, start biking at 5, because they have this ban on bicycle travel ascending Logan from 11 to 4, which might sound weird, but because the roads are so narrow and traffic can get pretty congested, I believe that's why they do that, and that makes complete sense. So to the top of Logan is a little under 7,000 feet. We were above sea level, so we didn't actually climb all of that elevation, but it was pretty challenging. So we didn't leave on time because it was raining, and we were a little worried about making that climb after being completely soaking wet. So by the time we started, we were gonna end up pretty close to hitting the top of Logan at 11. So there's really no time to stop and take breaks and things like that. So I think it was about a 40-mile bike ride, but kind of up the entire way, except for maybe for the first 10 miles. So it was really challenging for me to try and maintain a really good pace and fit that many miles in of climbing without taking any breaks or anything like that. Additionally, at points on that road, if you've ever gone there, you'll know what I'm talking about, were so narrow that just for 2 cars it was difficult for each other to pass by them. You have rock wall on one side, cliff, and you have basically a sheer drop on the other. So it was, if I really thought about it, it was kind of scary to be biking with no shoulder, and if you teeter one way too much, you were going right over the edge. But I wasn't really thinking about that at the time. I'm thinking more like just keep my legs moving to try and get to the top. But for the most part, motor vehicle operators were really good and worked with us, so that was good. And then it was an accomplishment to get to the top. So it was very cold at the top of Logan, and it kind of every 10 minutes the weather would change. So I thought New England was bad in terms of weather changing, but Glacier has nothing on the variability of weather in comparison. The day after, actually, when I was kind of exploring the park, it was snowing, at Logan Pass, so that was interesting. And I heard from somebody else that the day before we made our ascent, the weather was also pretty bad, so I think we've been pretty lucky in that sense. Today we're in Malta. We stopped in Havre yesterday, and we were in Shelby the day before. Have had some pretty great camping experiences. We stayed at Rocky Gorge, which is this picturesque, this was before Glacier, picturesque camping site. There was hardly anyone there. We had this incredible view of Lake Kukanusa, something along those lines. Just absolutely, the color of this lake was just gorgeous, and you know, like every minute or two you would see these hawks dive down into the water and grab a fish. It was just absolutely incredible. The lake was beautiful. So there's been some really incredible nature that we've got to experience over the past, I would say, week. Yesterday actually was really challenging. So like I said, we're in Malta today. The weather is supposed to be in the hundreds today, so we go from almost freezing temperatures to 100. So that's been a pretty kind of brutal change. But in addition to that, we tackled 80-something miles yesterday against 20-mile-per-hour headwinds. That was probably, I mean, the passes were really tough, you know, climbing, but at least you knew at some point it was going to end. The wind yesterday was absolutely relentless, and probably was one of the top mentally challenging things of this trip so far for me personally. Just trying to keep pedaling through it, and it was like pedaling in molasses. It was really tough. But everyone ended up making it to a safe spot last night. Today we're gonna stop in Seiko. One of the things I wanted to stop at, I heard about recently, was these natural hot springs in Seiko. So it's a campsite called Sleeping Buffalo, and it looks really cool. So I think our bodies are a little worse for wear after yesterday, and we're kind of a little mentally taxed, I think, or at least I'll speak for myself. So we'll stop in Sleeping Buffalo. I'm super excited to try out the hot springs. I haven't been doing much for my body in terms of kind of recovery. I was using some basic chain amino acids in my drink, but I have to limit that a little bit because the sugar in there will start to grow some things in my water bottle if I'm not careful, and don't have really good access to, you know, washing the insides of those out. So I've been taking Tylenol and ibuprofen to try and keep the inflammation down from our longer rides. So I haven't been able to ice either, really. Just the access has been a little bit difficult. So I'm really excited to take care of my body a little bit and experience something really cool. So you can check out Sleeping Buffalo and see where we'll be at, and hopefully I'll take some pictures and post those up if it looks cool. Yeah, so that's our plan for tonight. Tomorrow we might be staying at a Warm Showers. We've been a little thin in the warm showers recently. We stayed with a wonderful couple in Havre who were awesome. Really nice people. I wish we got to spend more time with them. There was a great brewery in Havre as well, so that was pretty awesome to check out. Malta also has a Dairy Queen, so that was pretty high on the list as well. So pretty much the ice cream stops and the pub stops have been keeping me going on this trip. But yeah, I hope you've enjoyed the update. Sorry for the long video. I know it's been a little bit of a while since I checked in. But thanks for keeping up with us. And as always, we're riding across country to raise money for Mental Health Connecticut. If you've already donated, thank you so much for your contribution. We really appreciate it. And if you haven't yet contributed, I kindly suggest you consider making a donation if you're able to. So thanks everybody for watching, and I hope everyone had a wonderful July 4th. Oh, another cool thing. So on July 4th, we were passing through this little bitty town called Chester. I mean, there's like a grocery store there. Passing through, we thought we'd stop after, you know, there was a 100-mile day. We stopped at around 50-ish miles, and nothing was open. We realized, yeah, this might not be able to find something to eat for lunch if everything's closed. I ended up asking a woman who came out of like a gas station or something, where there's some place to get food, and she goes, oh, well, the grocery store, they're giving away Indian food just up the street. I'm thinking, oh, okay, maybe they're giving away samples, something like that. So we go, and it's a whole family, an Indian family, who's making vats and vats of homemade Indian food, and they're giving it away. They're just giving it away. Apparently they do this, they own the grocery store, and every July 4th, this is what I was told, every July 4th they make Indian food basically for their town, and in celebration of them kind of coming to America and things like that. So that was what was told to me. They were extremely gracious. We went back for seconds, and they encouraged that, and it probably was the best Indian food I've ever had. So it was kind of such an amazing experience, and that was definitely one of the highlights as well. So we've kind of bumped into a couple of things like that, so we're trying to hold on to those awesome experiences and our awesome interactions with our Warm Showers hosts that really keep us going and connect us with others. That's been really, truly incredible. Connecting with people and connecting with nature have been the two kind of biggest takeaways that I've gotten from this trip so far. Anyways, you've probably heard enough from me, but hopefully I'll be able to keep you a little bit more updated, keep the videos a little bit shorter, and feel free to follow me on Instagram or Facebook for more Wolfer pictures. But hope everyone had a great July 4th, and hopefully I'll be posting again soon. Thanks so much for keeping up with us. I'll talk to you later. Bye.